Hey Collective, welcome into the channel. I'm so happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Trauma and Healing, where we're just going to look at what it means to heal from trauma, heal from experiences that have really just shaken up our world, places that we are struggling, and we're going to look at that via the tarot, astrology, any channeled messages that come through, and also some Ayurvedic practices to kind of help restore, re-enliven our mind, body, soul as we navigate. We all know that trauma is really messy. It's messy, it's heavy, it's not linear, right? Things can come up at any time, at any given moment. And in the astrology right now, we're in Leo season. We're really being challenged to kind of empower ourselves, re-empower ourselves. It is coming in the midst of just seeing who and what we are spending our time, our energy with, what we've attracted into our life. Some of it can be very humbling, especially if we're in an experience where maybe we're trying to move away from trauma and we've re-invited patterns back in, people who kind of are representing some of the things that we're trying to release or heal or get away from. And Leo season is really asking us to recognize that. I should say Mercury retrograde. We've had a lot of tense aspects with Venus and Mars right now. So that kind of element of duality, we all have the masculine and feminine energies. The masculine energy has been put down. It's important to wait, to take your time, to love yourself, really invest in your self-care. And then that female or that feminine energy is highlighting where people are not supportive, where they might be smiling in our face and doing something behind our back, And a lot of times when we're healing from trauma, those spaces are so tender, they're so precious to our heart, meaning we're very protective of ourselves because we don't want to go into another experience that is like the past, or, maybe we're even just still dealing with some of the traumatic or abusive people that are in our life, and we have to find ways to work with that energy. It's a lot, but that's also why I like to start the readings off with an energy cleansing. Just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places that we might be feeling stuck or blocked or limited. It's a great time to set your own intention as well for the reading, especially if you have come in with something on your heart or mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. Spirit is always wanting to speak to us, and we have so many opportunities to connect. I also do personal readings. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, definitely hit me up. I also do a couple other wellness services like energy healing as well as Ayurvedic consultations. If you're feeling out of sorts or not in alignment with yourself, it really helps restore our physiology, our mind, body, soul back into balance. And I would really love to help support in whatever way possible. When we are in those spaces of feeding ourselves, nurturing ourselves, supporting ourselves, it really is where we can kind of process through and overcome some of the more traumatic things that we're experiencing in life. So I would love to support in whatever way possible. As I said, definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. This is having such a hard time lighting. There's some resistance, and I think sometimes that happens a lot when we're healing from trauma. Ayurveda looks at trauma like we shove it into the deepest layers of our being because we can't process it. It's very hard to process it. It's essentially ama, toxins within our body that go unprocessed, right? We go through these experiences, we interact with these people, these situations, and we can't believe it, right? It's hard. It's hard to kind of even believe that something would do whatever your experience was. And so that's why we shove it deep down, right? And sometimes it is kind of hard to loosen that up and get it out. And that's often why we can have unpredictable reactions, responses to people, to situations. So, all right, it looks like it's ready to go. So let's get into it. Sorry. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so that we may see and understand the messages clearly, help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right, so I'm hearing like some of this holding on to, it's hard to let go of some things. It's not even about like this action of letting go. It's like, I feel like for you, it's just because it's still so present in your life, maybe some of it is unprocessed, unhealed trauma, right? That keeps resurfacing. But I think at the same time, I'm just kind of hearing like maybe some of it is still in your face. Mars has been really weirdly aspected lately, where we've been getting more of those messages to slow down, to take your time, to not rush through anything. And I feel like it's not easy because, there is this value, and they even validate this in psychology, like, in order to kind of work through some of these things, we have to invite in new experiences that are not like the past, that are not like the old. And that can be really hard to do because we have to trust. We have to trust people. And of course, this comes up sly and subtle. It's hard, right? Because I'm kind of seeing this as like you see things or people or situations very clearly like this from an intuitive space, right? It might not be what you convince yourself of on the surface, but it does feel like there are these, like, maybe you're keeping someone's secrets. Maybe you are kind of hiding some of the, or like, it might not be in efforts to protect someone, but it's almost like hiding someone's secrets is what I'm hearing. And I don't know that this is intentional because it does kind of feel like it is in that way to protect yourself, like I was talking about, right? We have so many different reactions and responses to like when we go through trauma, or, if we are unfortunately living in an abusive situation, like our body, our mind, our soul will do so many things just to protect us so that, you can get through it essentially. So even if, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be still in the situation, in the dynamic. Maybe some of you are, maybe some of you aren't, but it does feel like still reliving it to some capacity. I see celebration and magic, and it does look like some good things are coming up on the horizon. Things that so it does look like there is a new energy coming in, a new energy to help. I do feel like this is helpful. I feel like this is supportive. I feel like it is highlighting some of the experiences that you've been through, like really kind of bringing some honesty, some truth, some clarity to something that like you haven't had, or you've blamed yourself for, or you've taken all the responsibility on because of how someone has treated you. This is an energy that wasn't completely overt, it was something that like maybe you didn't even see, it kind of goes back to like you could pick something up about someone or something but you didn't necessarily have those like concrete facts is what I'm hearing. And this goes back to this new energy. I'm hearing like, okay, like spirit really wants you to be open this week. Not in a naive way, still protect yourself, because I think that's important. This new energy might be attached to something from the old. And that's kind of where I'm hearing this message of like, try to be open in the way that like you're willing to hear what someone has to say. Some truth. Perhaps someone's going to be a little bit nervous about sharing this truth because of everything that's happened, because of the water underneath the bridge, because of what it actually means to have this conversation. It is a step in the right direction, though. It's a step towards healing. I keep seeing this, have faith in new beginnings. This new and exciting chapter unfolds. Make sure to close the door to the past. So it doesn't necessarily matter what you choose within this dynamic or this conversation. Like that, and I'm hearing that's kind of like the bottom line. Like even if you don't trust someone, even if you didn't have a good experience, I feel like this is someone or something that's like helping to close that door. Not that it's wiping away everything from the past, because I feel like you're still processing through, like we were talking about in the very beginning. But like I said, this is about being open to communication. I feel like this is spirit coming in and validating some of the things that you were sensing, that you were picking up. It's hard to see this though. Yeah, there's our world card. You're in a better space now than what maybe you even recognize. The energy doesn't feel as heavy. I think you are still dealing with how something acted and behaved. I'm hearing that like you're starting to validate yourself in this already. Like as you're kind of processing through some of this trauma, like it feels like you're validating yourself on a new level. You're able to actually kind of just say, you know what, this was really shitty, or this person shouldn't have done it. Like, and I think even specifically places where they've tried to like blame you or point the finger or, you know, whatever, kind of make it your fault. It looks like someone is highlighting where the fighting was, where the conflict was, where some of this difficulty was playing out. Someone was trying to make you responsible, you know? And I feel like they're actually kind of like, this does feel like a little bit of a gossip session. Like they're filling you in on everything that happened. This feels like someone who was an onlooker. So like I said, they might be connected to the past. It might not be a comfortable conversation that you want to have. I think, like I said, you're in a better place to do so. And again, you can be more open to whatever this conversation is. And you're in a good place. Like, I think that even if you're still carrying those wounds, even if the wounds still feel like very present, very like in your face, you're still shining your light from that space of power. The Queen of Wands, you don't know if she's feeling weak inside or like if she's nervous or afraid to do something, because she's always going to kind of put on that front of like, I got this, you know? And that's how you are coming off. Like I said, even if it doesn't like feel great, and I think it doesn't feel great because this divine truth has yet to be exposed. And like I was saying, it feels like whatever this energy is, they're bringing some of that duality to light. Some things are meant to be a mystery for your highest good. Let the universe surprise you. I was hearing like, if it would have come out at the time, you would have responded differently. I think because you are coming from this place of strength, or wisdom, or like, I just feel like you're able to make better decisions for yourself because you don't want to go back into this. You don't want to go back into this. What are they waiting on? And you're very strong in that mindset. It looks like that's where you're headed anyway. What is this? What would they? Okay. I don't know. Whomever this is, like, they have a lot of, and this makes sense why they've been a little bit hesitant to come talk to you, because it's kind of just like they would have to like really kind of change up some things about their own dynamics or whomever, whatever they're kind of connecting with, whatever they've protected, you know? And I think that like you yourself, again, you're very clear on where you're headed. And I think it's basically saying like, don't, and I kind of already talked about this, like don't discount something right off the bat, because it does look like there is some type of offer on the table. And I'm hearing like, don't move too quickly. That's been a theme lately. See what's available. Something might be connected. Like I said, whatever this connection is to the past, it comes with an offer. It comes with an offer and interesting. Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, and the Tower. It does look like, because I am picking up two different energies. I feel like you do need to talk to someone. I feel like you do have like an honest conversation in front of you. Someone might be doing someone else's dirty work, like dipping, like they're trying to figure out where you're at. They're trying to figure out how you would respond if they did connect with you. And I feel like, because like I said, I'm picking up two different people. I'm picking up someone who actually is kind of trying to make an effort, but it almost feels like they might be making an effort for someone else, because we had this Queen of Coins pop up. Someone that I feel like it's not as great of an energy with, like you just might have some messy past is what it looks like. For whatever reason, some of this is, I don't know, like it either, especially if your situation had a lot of players involved, it looks like some of this is shaking out to, like, to kind of reveal like who was who and what is what I'm seeing. Okay. It's bringing you release. It's bringing you peace. It's bringing you an added layer of healing is what I'm seeing, because I think not everything is as it seems. And we did get this Eight of Swords in your energy, where Eight of Swords is like places that we kind of mentally block or limit ourselves, i.e. where like some of that like wounding and trauma are being triggered, throwing up those caution signs, warning, 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 where it might not be that in fact. And I feel like with this Eight of Swords, it's actually asking you to kind of, like I said, slow down with the Three of Wands. Wait it out, you know, and I'm hearing like you're going to want to have, like you in yourself want a definitive answer response to whomever, whatever this is, because of what they're connected to in the past. And maybe they weren't, or whomever wasn't on the most offensive side of the trauma or whatever has happened. But it definitely feels like you don't really trust them. And I think that that's kind of that place where Queen of Wands would give a big F you, you know, like screw you, because you're connected to this, that, and the other. And it is kind of resurfacing pain. But I'm also seeing that there is like something that's coming out of it that I feel actually is going to help you. And maybe on this side of the coin, you're not seeing it 100%. Because whatever these energies are, I love this. The cards never lie. Trust. I was going to say, whatever these energies are, they do have valuable information that helps the healing process, you know? And that's why Spirit is saying to take a beat. Don't necessarily react. Fire energy is a little bit hard to control. It's very easy to go off the handle, especially if you've been wronged, especially if you have a lot of thoughts about that, right? And so Spirit's really encouraging you to find balance, to find harmony. You have been doing that, but this is balance in this situation specifically. And it's really hard to stay balanced when, you know, we do have to talk about some hard things. Expression. And I feel like this is not an easy conversation. Again, that's why I'm seeing like someone goes in first before this other person, other situation follows. And it is a heart to heart, but it's not an easy heart to heart, you know, because it's like, it does look like tough things are going to have to be discussed. There is something that you're like being held accountable for, or like, I'm hearing it's like you have to have that courage in yourself, you know? And a lot of times, like with trauma, it really invokes our fears. It invokes the things that like we feel the worst about ourselves in, right? Like, whatever mental tapes we have, false beliefs we have, it really highlights those, and it kind of puts us in a subservient position, or in a position where we do kind of self-protect. And this is about recognizing that you are strong enough to hear this out, to understand what this divine truth is, to let the divine truth come to light. 22:44, it was on the clock. So 2s are all about our partnerships, our relationships, and 4s are knowing that we're protected, right? Like Spirit does have your back. Even if you go into this conversation and you're not liking what you hear, or like, you know that these people are just being kind of shitty and shady, just like the past, that in and of itself is going to reveal answers that you really need. Not only that you need, but like things that are really going to help towards your healing, towards healing from some of this stuff that has really been kind of trapping you or keeping you limited. So I hope this reading helped. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share, and a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. No, it really blesses my heart, and I'm just sending all the love and support back to you.